Here we go then, the F1 2009 My Team Career Mode on F1 2020. This is episode 1 at Australia, and we are going to kick off the season, guys, in the best way possible. Before we jump into the action, if you haven't seen the pre-season video, check it out, link in the top right, spoiler warning ahead, so go check it out, get up to speed, and we're going to jump into today's episode. Guys, if you're going to enjoy, leave a like and subscribe for more daily F1 content. We are so close now to 100,000 subs, and let's get into it. So, starting off with a very brief recap. As you can see, our helmet, our race suit, we're ready to go. Our teammate, Paul di Resta, and that should be an interesting dynamic. Hopefully we'll see some development from him over the season, but pretty much looking good. The threads look good. The first target, the first objective is to get level 2 acclaim and to unlock a first secondary sponsor. Hopefully then onto level 5 and then get a second one. Once we get those first 2, we should hopefully rack up some big cash flow and we can get things moving very quickly. And that's going to be key for us in terms of developing and improving the team and the car throughout this career mode. So, job done with that. We now move into the weekend's action. Australia. The opening round, we're used to Bahrain, but this game has Australia as the opener, which is quite different and something that I'm actually looking forward to doing. And also, it's on the old layout, not the current one we have, so that's also going to be part of the challenge. The forecast is dry. As for developments, you can see we are 4th from bottom, so 7th overall. Brawn GP, of course, are your runaway team overall. Red Bull 2nd, Force India 3rd, and we have Williams at the very bottom with BMW Sauber. So we're going to hopefully look to develop. We've had a pretty big package compared to others already on the car arriving for this first race, and we have 2 more upgrades on the way, which should hopefully move us above Toro Rosso and behind Renault. So we just got to try and keep those developments moving and keep pushing forward, and hopefully things arrive, don't fail, and we can have a better car in a short time. So we jump into practice, and I forgot how much more in depth the programs were. You know, we saw it in the preseason video with the R&D tree. You know, I forgot what that was about, and I might make a video on this separately about the features that have been taken away that we should bring back for F1 games. Anyway, practice done. We had a pretty okay session. I spent most of it not actually hitting practice goals because my pace wasn't really there. It was just about trying to get comfortable and improve with the car, the handling, make sure I had a good baseline, and we could hopefully push in qualifying and have a decent performance. Now, after practice, I realised my pace isn't too good. We've brought the AI level down to 90. It was on 101. I tried it. I was about 1.5 seconds off. So we're going to lower it a bit. And I reckon 90 should be about right, especially if we just fine-tune the car and find the sweet spot. I'm still learning. We should hopefully get better and better as the career mode goes on. Every race will get stronger and faster, and eventually we'll hit our sweet spot and find the balance, in terms of how things are going to go. Anyway, here we are, qualifying. There's our beautiful black and blue racing machine, and here we are into qualifying, a short qualifying to be specific, as I mentioned why in the pre-season video. Now we start off our first lap with a massive moment on the exit starting the lap. I thought also I'd run the offset T-cam for this one for a change and bring it back, as that was a camera that I used a lot back in F1 2020, which is the game that we're running on. So as you can see, all the sponsors on the track, everything has been updated. The mod has now been released, I believe, in early access, so if you guys want to check it out, links down below. A big shout out again to Kolar for making this possible. And yeah, here's our car in action for the first time as we make our way through the final few corners. We're going to close out the time, the lap here, and we're going to try and get a banker on the board. So making our way up to the line, and it's going to be a 1 minute 27.7 and P5 behind the Williams boys on our first timed lap. We move on to attempt number 2, and straight away we start off much better through the final corner, this time keeping it clean, unlike on the first run. And you can see that gives us a bit of time in the delta already. I've also increased my front wing for this run, so we're going to be a little bit slow on the straights, but hopefully better in the corners. And you can see we're up by a small margin in the first sector. Now then into sector 2, of course, into the old sector 2 here, and we have the little chicane we have to deal with, which did cause me some trouble. Generally, I'm struggling on curbs around here. They are very unsettling on the car, so I have to be careful with how I hit them. Anyway, we lost a bit of time. However, we absolutely nailed the chicane. We find a couple attempts through there, which was really good, and we managed to get the advantage back heading into the final part of the lap. So you can see here we're now up by 1.5 tenths, and we're really starting to find some time. We run a bit wide there, just like on the last run, but we don't invalidate, which is key. We do have strict limits on, but because these cars are a bit slower than the modern cars, you get off with things you maybe wouldn't get away with the modern cars into the track limits. Anyway, up to the line, 2 tenths improvement, and we go to P7, and we go ahead of Massa and Rosberg, and behind one Timo Glock and Kimi Räikkönen. So, last lap, last run. The start of the lap wasn't particularly great, and I actually tweaked some graphic settings for this one just to try and improve my FPS, and it seemed to actually make me a little bit quicker, which was a welcome addition. And you can see we absolutely bossed it through turns 1 and 2 as we're already a tenth up. Checkered flag drops into turn 3, down to third gear. I'm going to try for a change. Usually I do second, but I'm going to hold it in third, making our way through turn 4, and we're over a tenth and a half up, but we lose the back end, and I thought I got a puncture. I felt like I had a left rear puncture, so I went slow, but actually was okay, so I could have kept pushing, and we, didn't have to give up that much advantage. But straight after, another moment, a hefty shunt, and this one is going to cause definitive damage, and that is going to put an end to our qualifying session. So P8 right now, we finished P11, which isn't too bad to be fair. So everyone on softs, as you'd expect, and we out-qualified Paul di Resto, who's P21, and I think we've got the difficulty more or less about right. I reckon I could have gone a bit quicker, and we're going to probably improve during the race, but it's one of the things where we'll learn on the fly and see how things progress. Either way, good balance, everything more or less on the money, and yeah, P11 is actually pretty decent. We're slap bang in the middle, literally mid-pack, but it gives us a chance to hopefully get some decent points in the race, and fingers crossed it all goes okay. We're going to use the point system that's in this game, so the 25 points for a race win system, not the one we had back in 09, which was 10 points for a win, because it makes things quite confusing for the casual viewer. So yeah, qualifying done. Let's get to the race, and let's see if we can hopefully find some decent points.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to Melbourne for the opening race of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to the Australian Grand Prix. So here we are at Albert Park Circuit. 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy surface with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake, with the best passing opportunities coming at turn 1 and turn 3. Can Mercedes start with victory in their bid to win a 7th consecutive Constructors' title? Could Ferrari or Red Bull establish an advantage early on? And with 22 cars on the grid, how quickly can the new team find their footing? Well, it's great to be back, Anthony Davidson. We've got a lot to talk about this year.
That's right, Crofty. It felt like a long winter, but it's good to finally be back. I have to think the usual suspects will battle it out at the front, but there are always going to be some teething problems early on in the season, so whoever can keep on top of their issues will have the advantage today.
As I mentioned earlier, we're up to 11 teams this season, with a new entry run by, well, of all things, an owner-driver. That's something we haven't seen in this sport since Hector Raback over 4 decades ago. So how are they looking so far?
It's hard to imagine how a small operation like that could survive in the ruthless world of Formula One, and yet here they are, first ever race looking surprisingly strong. But there are no points for qualifying. Let's see how they fare in the Grand Prix proper.
Australian Grand Prix time here for the first race of the season. Now, we're on the grid, and to be fair, I don't know what to expect. It's going to be really fun to see how this all plays out. Strategy, I don't really know. I don't have a recommended race sim, so because of that, we're kind of going in a bit blind and guessing. So I'm going to start on the medium and then go to the hard and kind of stick with what the game recommends. Fuel-wise, I also don't know how these cars work in terms of efficiency, so I'm also going to keep it default and just basically try to learn, understand, and see how the car works. Hopefully, it's something we'll learn over the races go on, and we can hopefully improve on it. So, guys, in the comments down below, predict where we're going to finish. Can we get points? Can we get a top 5? Can we even push for a podium? Like the video, subscribe, and let's get into the first race. So just going through a bit of a check, making sure all the systems are good to go. Everything is locked in. Just closing out the formation lap. Tyre temp also looking good. I forget, you can't actually drive to the grid in this game, so you have to let the game do it for you. Something that I do miss from the current games. Anyway, hopefully a good start. That's going to be key. I think it's going to be chaos, and I don't expect a good start, but hopefully I can prove myself wrong. Anyway, let's get to it. There we go. Lights are on. No idea what revs to run, but we're underway. Wheel spin. Second, third, now fourth. Trying to go through the gears into turn one. Nakajima with a bold move into one. Trying to hold on here as we're down to P13. Using some curves. You'll see in the bottom right how we use that throughout the lap and throughout the race. Mark Webber, Kolar, and side by side, yellow flag behind. Something happened maybe into turn four. We're going to get Kolar in here, a little squirt of the curves to get through. And we make the move. So P12. Easy does it as we lightly tap the rear end there of the Red Bull. Going to get a bit of curves on to try and close in here. Up the inside of Webber. In his home race, we're going to get in front. And there we go, just like that. Back to where we started this race. And I'm now out of curves deployment, so we're going to have to wait until the next lap. Just keep an eye on the little green bar underneath the word overtake. You can see now we're out of juice. And that might put us in trouble here as Webber gets a big run. Going to defend the inside. And hold on for now. Back end slips away on the curb. That I've been struggling with that one all weekend. Just got to watch the curves, man. They're so dangerous. Good start though. I was expecting a lot worse for our first race start with this mod in this career mode. And again, the curbs there causing me trouble. I forget we have rich mix that we can burn to try and fight. Webber has a look but doesn't really commit, so we can move across into turn one. Using a bit of curves to defend. Webber tries again. And just hold the inside. Job done. Let's see if we can try and hold this pace. So Webber's pretty quick. Still putting the pressure on us, but we're starting to close in now and put some pressure on Nakajima and Nick Heidfeld here. So we're knocking on the door. Like I said, trying to keep Webber at bay in the process, who's going to get a run on us here. I'm going to trust that he doesn't go for the lunge, and we're going to take the normal racing line. I'm using some rich revs here to try and close in a little bit. Again, something when I have to get used to in the racecraft by using the engine modes again, which is something we don't do anymore in Formula 1. A bit wide there, but we've got plenty of curves to deploy. I'm going to use the rest of the charge here to try and get a run. DRS enabled, of course, but that's not going to be the case with these cars. As we have a moment there for Heidfeld, I have to get out of it. Otherwise, we could have lost our wing. But that's going to put us on the back foot now massively. Versus Webber, who's closing but decides to not commit. Nakajima instead looking for a move on Heidfeld, who seems to be going pretty slow here in the BMW Sauber. Okay, this is getting interesting. Nakajima with a good exit, and he's got a run on Nick. Into the chicane we go. We may be able to go 2 for 1, although we lose a lot of momentum again, and we take a corner cut in the process. I couldn't see the apex. I was so close to the Williams. This is already getting a bit frustrating here, impeding our progress as Heidfeld has a big moment on the exit. Trying to see if I can get through here. Up the inside. Side by side here with Heidfeld, but we're going to have to leave some space. But around the outside we go. And we lock that move in. So make that P10. Let's try and get on to Nakajima now. I think we're going to be okay into 1. We're not going to be challenged, so we can take the corner out normal. We're actually catching up to the cars ahead. I think everyone is struggling a little bit with tyres and the back end. But we may have a chance here if I can nail the chicane. That was good. Get the curves on. Use it all. There we go. Out of juice. Up the inside. Clean move. Textbook. Make that P9 for us now. Actually getting some confidence now. Starting to feel pretty good. Closing in on Morcar's Button in the Brawn next up. I think we can definitely get a top 5 here if we keep this race pace up. Obviously, I don't know what the hard tire is going to be like later on, but hopefully we can make it work. And it looks like we've got a lot of rear wear. You can see there compared to the fronts, the rears are going to be a big issue. So it's mainly going to be pitting when the rears give out, because the fronts can go forever pretty much. So how about this scrap? The eventual 2009 champion versus the 2010 champion, and just up in front of Sebastian is the 2007 champion Kimi Räikkönen. So big names in this upcoming scrap. Just trying to have a look at JB there, but didn't get the right exit through the right hander into the penultimate corner. Pretty close now. This could be interesting. If I can get the exit. Oh, here we go. Big run. Although it seems like the Brawn's pretty speedy on the straight. Having a look on the brakes. Button though, brakes later. And holds on. I'm actually really happy with the AI difficulty in this one. It's going to be a fun race. Pretty even level playing field in this one, which is also entertaining. I mean, Ferrari versus Red Bull versus Brawn versus 97 Racing. Who would have thunk it? Timo Glock in the pits, so the first one to bite the bullet on strategy. That could be a 2-stop, to be fair. Oh my god. Oh. Big moment there. Nakajima trying to pressure. We're going to hold the inside. Massa having a moment as well there. That was scary. Very scary. Rear tires now really starting to open up. Thought about it there, but I didn't really have enough momentum. Massa pits, so does Seb, so does JB. So the race is now starting to really open up. So this is going to mean we are P4, no P3. Let's try and stretch. Again, we'll go for the 1, so we'll put the hard tires on after this, and hopefully it works out. I'm assuming the AI are going to go soft medium. I'm going to go medium hard, so we're going to try and lean on the tires a bit. Oh, moment for Räikkönen there. Massive, massive moment. But I can't capitalise. The back end is letting go. Nakajima goes through. I feel like there's pace actually, though. I can stay out and have decent pace. It's just I have those moments where the back end will just snap on me so much. I'm assuming Kimi and Nakajima are going to pit. Yes, they do. I'm going to go long. Stick with the strategy, so we'll box around lap 13 and go for the 1-stop. I'm quite happy with the car balance overall. I think I can make this work. Rubens at pit exit, so he's got a pretty big gap in the other Brawn, so he's cooking away. Let's see if we can run at a decent pace now and clean air. I feel like I've got some pace to burn if I don't make any mistakes, that is. Barrichello overtakes Webber. Safety car? VSC. We're taking it.
Understood, stopping this lap.
We're taking it. Went a bit too slow there, but we are taking that all the way to the bank. A free pit stop, a cheap pit stop. Very cautious pit entry. First pit stop of the entire save. So hopefully we'll get better. But look at the rears, they're absolutely knackered. The fronts ain't too bad. Hence why the pace wasn't that bad. I think I was actually doing okay. Right then, onto the hard tyres. You can see no more green strip on the tyres. Now these were horrible in practice. So hopefully it doesn't backfire. Anyway, P12. Clean air, which is also welcome. We're going to have Broad A behind us. Just going to take it easy on the tyres as we try to get comfortable. I have no idea where we're at now because of that pit stop. I feel like there's lots of cars that still have to pit, but I could be wrong. Either way, let's get cracking on these tyres. These are going to last a very long time, so we should be fine on these. I feel like we actually didn't gain anything with that VSC. I think I lost too much time. Those mistakes cost me pretty dearly. Anyway, Nakajima just over to Buemi here, and we're going to be next up. Buemi's struggling. I think he's on the same tyres he started on. Here we go, using the KERS. Going to burn it all up. Down to turn 1 to try and get in front. And there we go, we'll turn in and take the apex. Nakajima side by side, and through goes on PK. I think fresh tyres are a massive difference. The rear tyre wear affects everyone equally. So you're basically so slow staying out with the rears that it's just not worth it. At least not in this race. Anyway, through we go. on PK up the inside. That brings us back into the points. P10. Oh wow, another virtual safety car. Giovanazzi, not sure who that is in game. I just realised it's a VSC. Oh my god, but the AI don't stop. The delta's been fixed. Oh, okay, that's why we didn't gain under the safety car, the first virtual safety car pit stop. Ah, it all makes sense, of course. There's no VSC back in 2009, of course I know that, but I didn't think you could actually remove the feature from the game. That's insane. So, I'm assuming you have to remain below delta, but yeah, okay, this makes sense. So, if we see a virtual safety car from now on, forget it exists. It's just a visual thing. So basically, we just did a regular pit stop, hence why we're behind Nakajima and Button. The AI never actually slowed down. So, yeah, it makes a lot of sense now. Okay, the light bulb just went off. Gotta be careful, big moment there. Got very lucky. Oh, Nakajima runs it in wide. Oh my god, that was close. Thank god he got out of the way because I was out of control. Meanwhile, Seb and JB up ahead going at it again, so we're going to resume this battle. Second warning now. Took a little bit too much out of that first part of the chicane. Gotta be careful now. Okay, second pit stop time. Timo Glock is the first one, so it looks like they're all going to two-stop it, I think. So we could be actually in a pretty decent position here. Whoa, Button, massive moment there. Unfortunately, it's not a good traction zone for me, so I can't quite pressure him and make him pay for that mistake. But I think we don't have to worry. I think everyone's going to pit, so we're in a different race now. So it's about managing our own race and trying to burn the fuel to get the car lighter. And there it is, everybody in. Some cars will stay out, which will make them pit on the next lap. But this is going to move us into P3. And Massa has to pit, and so does Rubens, I believe. So we're going to be net P1, I think. Another yellow. This one's reliability. Felipe's out. He's out the race. That Ferrari engine has had enough. Let's see if we do get a legitimate safety car as Rubens pits from the race lead. So we are going to move into P1. But will there be a late sting? Our safety car now put me in a bit of trouble on these tyres. But it looks like we're not going to get one. So we are going to be P1. And now the question is, can we make it to the end? Timo Glock is the nearest threat right now in the Toyota. 8 seconds away, and they're going to be so quick now on fresh rubber. We are going to have to battle for this win. Although we may have to be smart.
Check your MFD for a new strategy.
Is that legit? Yes, it is. That's a proper safety car. This is a proper one. Do we take it? I think we have to, right?
Got that confirmed.
I'm going to go for it. Lost a lot of time on the Delta, but it's a free pit stop. This one is actually free. It's legit, so let's take it. I think we will have better tyres at the end, and based off my short experience, fresh rubber is very, 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 very strong in this mod, so it might be worth it. Here we go. So super stop, super stop, 2 seconds on the nose, and we're going to rejoin in P8. You know what? I'm happy with that. That was worth it. I felt like I was a bit of a sitting duck on those tyres. I think we could have actually maybe held on for like a top 3, maybe a top 5. But now we get to hunt, and we've got fuel, and we've got now tyres, fresh tyres, to go on the hunt, and it's going to bring everyone together so we can fight now. Kyoto, that's the Resta. The Resta's out the race, my teammate. Oh wow, late call. Safety car in this lap. We're going to get right back underway. I was wondering it was going to come in, and it is. So back to racing we go. Let's get to it. Kurt's deployed. And we're going to challenge Seb here. Can't quite force him to go defensive. But back underway. We're going to have the freshest tyres out of anyone here. But let's see if we can make them work. Closing in massively up ahead. Rosberg battling with Glock for the win. It's Toyota 1-3 right now. I bet they would have wished 2009 went that way for them in real life. Good run though here on Sebastian. Now we force him defensive, slightly offline. Trying to get close through here. He just pulls away though a little bit. Let's be patient. We've got time still. We've got a few laps to go yet. It's a really good exit. Kurz. Here we go. This time we've got Seb reeling. He defends the inside. We're going to set him offline on the exit. Not ideal. Going to keep the Kurz on. We're going to drain it all here. Up the inside on the brakes into turn 3. Seb's still there. Around the outside. And there we go. Oh, moment there. JB slightly out of shape. Can we try to get through? Big run through 6. Button offline defensive, loses the back end again there. Can I stay close? Using the Kurz. Not quite. Tried to have a stab down the inside there, but Button really good on the brakes. Oh, a bit of a snap out the final corner. Out of Kurz, Button pulls away. Oh, moment for Raikkonen this time. Button in a sandwich. Here we go. Oh, Button moves across. Contact. Oh, that all got a bit scruffy there. Button trying to go for a move on Raikkonen. Slash defending from me. That got a bit ugly. And now Sebastian Vettel fancies another run. We're going to just gradually move in on him there and cut across. Oh, I tried to get a run there. Just couldn't quite get it right. The more overdrive it, the more mistakes we're making. Last chance saloon now. Use a little bit of Kurz just to try and get close. Nicely over the curb. Second one though, not so great. Didn't get the apex. I don't think we're going to get close enough. Button's going to hold on. Although we're very strong through here. We need one more run. Button defensive. Moves across in the braking. We're going to cut underneath. Button offline slightly, but we don't quite get the exit. Still P7. Fun first race.
A great race then, and a fantastic victory here at Albert Park. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
Haas are no doubt happy with today's performance, having secured the win this weekend. And our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations as we speak.
Well, I'm gassed. Very happy with that first race. It's amazing. I feel like we had so much action and overtakes, yet we only went from P11 to P7. However, we learned a lot that race. We learned a lot. The VSC is not a thing. If it happens, ignore it, because the AI drive at regular flat out pace. Hence why I was forced into an earlier stop than what I would have done, which wasn't ideal. I think had we stuck with the 1 and pit later, I may have had a chance, and I probably would have stayed out on that final safety car. But it is what it is. Really good fun. Really enjoyed it. P7, 6 points for us. Timo Glock picks up the win and Toyota's first ever Formula 1 victory. So, guys, there's a lot. Like, subscribe, and we go again in the next one. Standings, of course, in the next one. Once we have a couple of races to kind of look at them, it's worthwhile. But yeah, guys, like, subscribe. As always, check out the mod link down below, guys. A big shout out to Kolar for making this and linking me this so early ahead of time. As always, a big shout out to the members for supporting the channel and the content. And finally, check out the 2 videos on screen if you guys haven't seen them. And yeah, guys, just watching, and I'll see all of you in the next one.